theme and also theming and branding yesterday, so it is in this color. If anyone missed yesterday's class, you can go to recordings and check how to log in, create the developer account, and log into developer account. So this is how we'll be logging into our developer account. Okay, now as I told, for our first topic is we need to know what are objects and fields. So the first topics consider object. And okay. So what are objects in Salesforce? Objects in Salesforce are nothing but in Salesforce we will store the data in the form of objects. Okay, it's a sales sorry objects are the database tables that stores the data in the form of tables. Okay, so just so our first topic which we are going through today is objects. uh, Yesterday I think we also saw difference between lightning Lightning UI and Classic UI, right? So we also saw what is difference between them. So Classic UI is a outdated UI and Lightning UI is a advanced one which we are using right now. Okay, and this Classic UI doesn't support in mobiles, whereas Lightning will be supporting in our mobiles. So that is a major difference. And now objects in Salesforce. Now our topic is object in Salesforce. What are objects in Salesforce? This will be a compulsory question in your interviews. Okay, in Salesforce, objects plays a major role. Objects plays a major role. We'll see how objects are used and how many ways they are created. Okay, so for coming to the first definition, Salesforce objects are database tables that allows user to store data specified to an organization. Okay, so this will be the definition for data. I mean objects. So objects are basically used to store the data of a specified organization in the form of fields. Okay, and there are two types of fields in Salesforce. Two types of fields. First one, two types of fields. First one is standard objects. Okay, and second one is custom objects. The objects which we create, those are known as custom objects, and the objects which are already given by the platform, those are known as standard object. Okay, now we will see what are these objects. And I'm just taking a scenario and I would like to explain these objects in the form of Excel sheet. Then we'll go back to our platform and we'll see how to create the how to create the objects, and how they are useful in our Salesforce. Okay, so I'm just taking a scenario and comparing with this Excel sheet. Okay, so in Excel sheet, everyone is familiar with this Excel sheet. So I'm just taking an example over here. Okay, now I would like to take these three columns and just taking as a table. Okay, so this table which I am taking is called as a object right now in Salesforce, and this table is regarding. Let us take an example of student. Okay, student details. Let us think this is a student or student table, right? This is student details table. It's a student details table, and coming to the this one column, this whole table is called as object in Salesforce. Okay, object is like table, this table. And coming to this rows, for student details we need student name, roll number and branch, right? So this here, let us take student name. Okay, and next one is student roll number, and third one, let us take mobile number. Okay, so these are the three. This we need more details about the student, but for now I'm just taking these three to for making you understand. Okay, so this table is called as a object in Salesforce, where we store the data in the form of fields. Okay, so these are called columns, right? These are columns and these are rows. These columns are called as fields. This is student name is one field, and roll number is one field, and mobile number is one field. Okay, so these columns are known as fields in Salesforce. Columns are known as fields in Salesforce. The next one. Okay, and these are rows. Rows are called as records. So what are records means? Let's take student name. Student name, I'm just taking Arya. Okay, and his roll number is one, and mobile number is something like nine something. Okay, so this whole row belongs to Arya, right? Arya name, Arya roll number, and Arya mobile number, right? So let us take second one, Bunty, and here his roll number is two, and we are taking mobile number as this. Okay, so these are called as records in a table. In a table we are taking records. Arya is one record, Panti is one record, so many records will be in one table. Okay, so in object we are having fields. The fields are nothing but these columns, and rows are called as records. Okay, rows are called as records, rows. Okay, so my point here is that in Salesforce, this table is called as an object, and fields are called as for these columns are called as fields, and these records are called as rows. Right. So objects, fields, and records, we need to create them. So first we will try to create a object in Salesforce. Okay. So as I told, we have two types of objects in Salesforce, and you will be having a. This will be like your interview question. Okay. This will be like your interview question. Let me just tell. Uh, how many types of objects are there in Salesforce? That will be an interview question. So you can tell like we have two types of object. First one is standard object, and second one is custom object, right? And so custom object is represented in the form of underscore C. Okay, why this underscore C is that there is a difference between two objects, standard objects and custom objects, and custom objects are represented in the form of underscore C. We'll see once we create our object, we'll see how this will be represented. And this one more question while coming to the objects is, how many ways you can create a object? We can create a object in Salesforce platform in three ways. Okay, three ways we can create a object. Okay, so first one is we can create through object manager, and second one we can create object manager, and second we can create using schema builder. Okay, and third way we can create using a spreadsheet. So these are the three ways objects are created in Salesforce. So these are the most important points while coming to the object. First one is Salesforce objects are database tables that allows users to store specified to an organization. Okay, two types of objects are there. Those are standard objects and custom objects. Okay, and third one is like how many ways you can create object in Salesforce. So you can create objects in three ways. First one is from object manager, second from schema builder, and third one we can create it from spreadsheet. Okay, now let us go to our platform and try to create a objects. So as I told, we can create object in our platform from object manager. So this is an object manager. As I told yesterday, for all our customizations and configurations, we need to go to our setup page, right? So we are in our setup page. You can see this is a setup page where we can do all our customizations and configuration. So from setup page, you can see object manager over here. I'm just clicking on object manager, and after clicking on object manager, you can see create here. Okay, create and custom object. Just clicking on custom objects. Okay, so here new custom object, you can see as per our example, we'll try to create a student object right now. Okay, so let us create a student object. The singular and plural labels are used in task based layouts and reports. You can see label. So for label, we'll give student. We are creating a student object now to store the details of the student, right? Like our table which I have showed you in Excel sheet. I am trying to create a table right now. So that table is student details, right? So that student details, I'm just taking it as student, and coming to plural name, students. Okay, and description, and it is also give description. Here you can give description, and plural name, just you need to add s, for that label. And coming to description, I'll also give description for your clear understanding. This is object, this is student object, student object, where we can store data of the students. Okay, this is student object where we can store data of the student, where we can store student details data, student details data. Let me tell this. Okay, so I think this point is very clear. Description, and coming to this, enter record name, label, and format. Okay, record name. What is this record name? I'll just show you after creating this. Okay, so I'm just taking it as student name. Whenever we create a new object, whenever we are creating an object, one default field will be created while creating our object. So that record name, it is just taking it as a student name. I'll show you how it get reflected after creating this. Okay, so these optional features allow reports, as I told in introductions. We can also go with analysis, reports, and dashboards, right? So to allow reports, our reports are nothing but in future if we want to analyze our data in the form of reports. Everyone know what are reports, I guess, because reports are very important, like where we can see the data in one format, right? So if I allow reports for this particular object, students, then it will allow us to create report on this particular student, and we can also merge another reports. That is the use of this allow reports. Okay, I'm also clicking on allow activities, track field history, allow in chatted groups, and then we have allow search. This allow search allows us to search this particular uh, you know object which we are creating here in our global search, or anywhere in the org. If you want to search, you can just search it, so that you'll be getting it as a result. And here you can observe launch new custom tab wizard after saving this object. For now, I'm just trying to launch this tab. Okay, every time when you're creating an object, you should try to create a tab. Okay, so for now I'm just taking this, and I am also going to create one more object. For that, I'll show you what is the difference, like if we don't create a tab, what will be the difference. Okay, now I'm just enabling this and clicking on save, right? And now here it is asking choose the custom object for this new tab. So it is already choose student object. And tab style, you can also select tab style in which way you want. So this is a student object, right? Student object. Let me take something like okay, chalkboard. You can take anything based on your requirement. You can just take anything, any tab style, no restrictions for that. And description, I'll also give description. This tab is this tab is for student object. So this is the description. I'm clicking on next. And here are some profiles in Salesforce. Profiles also plays a major role. We'll come to know what are profiles in coming classes. But now, if you see, it is asking me to select the profiles, and here you can see apply one tab visibility to all profiles. Yes, I'm just taking this tab should be visible to all the profiles in my platform, and now clicking on next. Tab visibility include in which application. As I told here, this is an app launcher, right? When I click on app launcher, there are many standard applications. We have seen yesterday sales application, service console. So those are all applications. It is asking, should this tab which we are creating that should be added to this application? Yes, I'm just clicking on save. Now what happened is we have created our student object. Okay, we have created our student object. See, we have created our student object. Okay, so let us check, is the student object reflecting to our applications or not. We also selected sales application while creating it our object. Here you can see more and student. Okay, you can see we have created our students object. It is created, student object is created. Now I'm just clicking on new. When I click on new, student name, this is the student name which I told you I'll show you. While creating our object, the one record name that is created, that is student name. This field is already created. That means whenever you try to create a object, this one field will be automatically created based on the label name. So that student name is reflected here. As I told you, I'll show you where it get reflected, right? So here it gets reflected. Now what we do is I'll just give one name and save this record. So I will give it as Peter. Clicking on save. Now you can see I have created a record, Peter record, and I'm just clicking on open. And here is a student name. Here is a student name, Peter, and owner, the person who have created this record, and this is me. So it is giving my name over here and created by. So who created this, on what time it is created, and what date it is created, that is showing here. Last modified by me. So if you do any modifications here, as you all know, in student details we need more details over here, right? But now we have only student name. Here again we need to know student branch, rule number, so that all fields we need to add in our student objects, that we will do. But my point here is that whenever you try to create a object in Salesforce, so after creating a object, the default fields will be created here. This will also be your interview question. How many fields will be created if you create a object in Salesforce? Four default fields will be created. Okay, first one is with name of the label, and second one is owner field will be created automatically default. Okay, and created by and last modified by. So these are the four common fields that will be created whenever you try to create an object in Salesforce. Okay, so now I will just show you difference between standard objects and custom objects, and then we'll go for the tab. You can see this space which it is, the student which it is occupying, this space is called as a tab. Okay, you can move this tab from this place to this place, similarly like our Google tabs. These tabs you can move like this. Whenever, as I told, whenever you create a object, tab should be created, right? The next step we'll see, we'll create one more object called faculty, and I'll not try to create a tab, so that we'll see what happens if we don't create a tab. Okay, now I'll show you one difference, like difference between standard objects and custom objects. These are all standard objects, guys. These objects are directly defaultly in the platform. When we create our org, these objects are already created, so they, you can see type as standard object, right? We have created only one object, custom object we have created is student object. So let us search for student object. Here you can see we have a student object, and differences you can observe here. It is custom object and it is standard object. And for custom object, you can see, as I told, it will be represented as a underscore c. Custom objects are always represented in the form of underscore c. Wherever you can observe standard objects, they don't have any underscore c or something like that. Only the object name is present here, right? But when you see for custom object, it is represented in the form of underscore c. So these are the standard objects and this is a custom object. So from this point we came to learn is that for we have two types of objects. Standard objects are the objects which are already defaultly created when we create our org. Okay, and custom objects are the objects which we create for our use. Okay, so that is the difference between standard and custom objects. Now what I do is I will try to create one more object, custom object. Okay, and I'm just going to create custom object. This time I would like to create a faculty object. Okay, so let us create faculty. Okay, and plural name faculties. Description: this will store faculty details. Okay, this will store faculty details. This object will store faculty details, right? And when you observe here, record name is faculty name. As I told, one default field that is created, and three will be created when you create a record. Just clicking again, allow reports, allow activities, track, allow insert a group, enable. Okay, and allow search. Now if you observe, I'm not creating a tab for faculty object. So what happens, we'll see. I'm just clicking on save. Now our faculty object is created. uh, Faculty. So this is our custom object, faculty underscore c. Faculty object is created. Now what is our use is that we need to use our faculty object in our application, right? So let us check, is it visible in our application or not. Going to sales, and here when you observe no faculty object is present, I am just clicking on more, and here also no faculty object is created. Okay, the faculty object we have created, but that is not visible in my navigation bar. Okay, so let us try to add, as you also already created, let us try to add. I'm just clicking on this pencil icon. If you want to add objects to your application into your navigation bar, you just need to here you can see personalize your navigation bar. I'm just clicking on navigation bar, and here are some navigation item, and clicking on add more items, and all, just search for faculty. Here you can see faculty object is not visible because we did not create a tab. Okay, so that is the difference. If you don't create, many of you will be making mistakes over here only, that you will be creating the object but you will not create a tab. So that if you don't create a tab, you will not be able to place that object in our navigation bar, because you can see the color, this color which it is showing here, that color that is space for a object to be placed, that is called as a tab. Okay, so each and every object that is occupying some space, that space is known as tab. So we need to create a tab so that we'll be able to place that tab in our navigation bar. Okay, now again we'll go back to setup page and we'll create a tab. And to create a tab for custom objects, once you forget, like while creating a object, you can again come to setup page. From setup page, in quick find box, just type for tabs. Okay, so here clicking on tabs, and you can create new custom tabs to extend Salesforce functionality to build a new application functionality, right? From here you need to custom objects tabs, custom object tabs. From here we'll be able to create a tabs for our object which we have created. Clicking on new and choose the custom object of this new custom tab. Fill in the details for which object you are trying to create a tab, that you need to choose it from object. From clicking on here, as we have created only two objects, right? First one is student object and second one is faculty object. For student object we already created a tab, and for faculty object we did not create a tab, so that's why it is only showing faculty object over here. Just selecting faculty object, and tab style you can give anything, no issues. So let me give computer and description. This will store the data of, sorry, this is tab, right? This tab is is for faculty object. This tab is for faculty object. I'm clicking on next. This is profiles. I'm just trying to take apply one tab visible to all profiles. I'm clicking on next. Okay, and here you can see sales application. Yes, it is included. If you create any other application, we'll also see how to create an application. If you want to place this particular tab like this, these are tabs, right? You, in which application, particular application you want to fix it, you can just select it here. I am just selecting all application. This object should, this
সাইডে
tab
নিয়ে যাবো
should
তো,
be
চলো আমি
included.
নিয়ে যাচ্ছি।
Clicking on save. Okay, and let us check now, is it visible or not. I'm just going back to my application and clicking on reload. Okay, so again same process, we need to add tab to our navigation bar. You need to go to personalize. I'll just check once. We already added here but it is not showing, so we need to go to navigation bar, click on add more items, and from all just try to check for faculties. You can see faculties is available here. Okay, now you can just click on this and click on add one navigate item and save it. Now our faculty object will be added. You can see this object is added. The two custom objects which we have created is student object and also faculties object. So one field will be created as a short faculty name is created. Okay, so this is how we'll be creating a custom object and also tabs. If you miss to create a tabs while creating an object, you can just again go to quick find box. From tabs you can create a tab for your object and then you can place it in your navigation bar. Okay, so that's all about standard objects and custom objects. Now what is my requirement is that, let us take an example. Student, we have student object, right? We have student object, and in student object, first we need to have student name. Student name field is already created. Student name field is already created. Student, for storing a student details, what are all fields we need, that we are going to create right now. Okay, so as per our excel sheet, first one is student name we have taken, then we need student roll number, right, to store their data, student roll number. And then third one, we need to have branch. Okay, and fourth one, we need to have student mobile number. Okay, and fifth, we need to have email id, email id of particular student. For now, these are the most important details that we want from our students. Okay, now we need these are fields, right? Roll number columns are called as field, as I showed. We now student name is already created. Roll number we need to create, branch we need to create, mobile number and email ID. These all are fields we need to create in our student object. Okay, so there will be a different data types to create these different fields over here. I'll just show you what are those different data types, and I'll also I'm just clearing you that here roll number is there, branch, mobile number and ID. As I told, we have data types, right? We have data types in Salesforce. While creating a field, we need to select a data type. There are different data types. Okay, so let us check. Now we need to create fields in our object, because when I click on this student object and clicking on new, only student name is there, right? Now we need to create roll number, branch, phone number and also email address, so that the student details will be more clear with us. For that we need to go to our object manager, and from object manager we need to go to for our object, in which object you will be you want to create a fields. Going to student, and to create a fields you need to go to your object, and from your object you need to go to fields and relationships. These are the fields and relationships. As I told, for default fields, those are created automatically defaultly whenever you try to create a object in platform. Okay, so these are already created. Now to create a to create a new field, we need to click on new over here. You can see new. Student details, roll number, mobiles. Now we are creating a field. Student name, roll number, mobile number. This we gonna create. So for that we went to our object, from object fields and relationships, and here are some data types. What are these data types? Okay, what are these data types means? You can see auto number, formulas, checkbox, currency, date time, email, geolocation, number, percentage, percent, phone, pick list. What are all these? What are all these means? If you take an example, if you are trying to fill any kind of form, if your college has provided some, so if they want some details from your side, they'll be sharing you some Google sheet or any kind of form. If they are sharing, what happens if you click on mobile number field? Okay, mobile number, if you want to type mobile number, what happens, if you click on that particular field, it will only show you the keypad of numbers only. It won't show text over there, right? It will only show the numbers. So why, whenever you select that phone number, why it is showing only numbers? How your mobile knows that it should show only numbers? That is because here we are selecting some kind of data type. Okay, so in similar way, according to our use, we need to select the data type, so that it will be correctly taking our information into the field, right? So student name is already created. Now we need to create a roll number. Okay, now we need to create a roll number. So roll number, if you see in our institutions, roll number is a combination of both alphabets and also numbers, right? So it should contain both alphabets and numbers, I mean letters and numbers. You can see text data type will be supporting our roll number. So allow users to enter any combination of letters and numbers. So that is the use of these data types. To create a roll number, I'm taking text. Okay, I'm taking text, and for that enter any while I'm selecting data type as text and giving field name as roll number, so that users can enter both letters and also numbers. Clicking on text and then next. I have taken data type as text, and label I'll be giving as roll number. Okay, and length. So what is this length? Length means if you are trying to enter a roll number, your particular college has a digit of 12 digit roll number. If it is extending beyond that, that may go wrong, right? So here you can just select a length, how much the roll number should be there. If it is 15, you can just click on 15. It will not allow you to enter more than 15 letters or numbers. Okay, so I'm just taking length as 15. And description, coming to description, this is this field allows user to enter student roll number. Okay, so this is what it is, and here you can see required field is asking required field. Why? Because if you give it is required, this red mark which is showing here is that it's like a required one. Without giving this field, the record will not be saved. Okay, sometimes you may see please fill the required fields. So in that case, this is that case. For rule number, I'm just yes, rule number is always required for students. So while creating a creating a student details, roll number is always required. So I'm taking roll number as required here and clicking on next. And when I click on required, that should be that will be visible to all the profiles, and then clicking on next. So student name, yeah, save. Now we have created one more field, that is roll number field. Student name, roll number, both of them has come. So let us check is that reflected or not. Whenever whenever you are trying to make any changes in your setup page, and when you come back to your application page, you should always need to reload the page, because the changes which you have done in your setup page, that should get reflected to your application page. So for that you should always need to reload your page, or else open the application new. Now clicking on student new. So it's taking time to reflect. You can see roll number field is created over here. Okay, student name is there, roll number is there, and now we need to create three more fields. So guys, we will create the fields after the break. Let's take 10 minutes break and come back.
Recording stopped.
Guys, so we have created one field, that is roll number field. Now we should create branch, mobile number, and email ID. Okay, so branches will be having multiple branches, right, like CSC, CE, so how to choose the data type? So it comes under a pick list, right? Pick list means we can choose multiple values. Now let us try to see. For branch we need to select from object manager, we need to go to our object, student object. From student object, fields and relationship, and from fields and relationship, clicking on new. And here we need to create a branch field. For creating a branch field, I am trying to choose pick list value, because there will be many branches, right? So for that pick list value, what is the specification of pick list is that allows users to set a value from a list you define. That means while trying to select a branch, I will be giving here some branch list of branches, and the user will be able to select the particular branch for which that student will be belonging to. Okay, so now clicking on next. Your field label. For field label, as per our requirement, I'm giving it as branch. Okay, field label branch, and here you can see use pick list values and enter values which you want to use by a new line. Okay, now what is a difference between them? Now we're gonna use enter values with each separate line, because let me give, we have CSC, ECE, IT, civil, Mech, right? So these are the branches. Why we have chosen these? Why not this? Because this use global picklist value set is nothing but the values which we are using here in student object. The same picklist value, if you want to use in any other objects like faculty object or any other new object, if you are feeling that this branch field should be this branch field is being used in another objects also, then you can create at once in global pick list values, and then you can use this particular field branch with these values in any other object. So this is the advantage of files. Okay, so I'm also taking it as a required because whenever we try to enter the details of the student, brand should be compulsory there in their details. So for that, I'm just taking required field and then clicking on next. Okay, and then you can see visible ready read on. Is visible? Yes, it is. Should be visible to all the profiles. I'm taking them and now clicking on next. Okay, and then save it. Right now we have created student name, roll number, and also branch. One two more fields we need to create, that is again we need to create a phone number field, right? Mobile number. So for that we can choose phone. You can see the phone data type over here allows users to enter any phone number. పడుతుంది డబ్బు అటు తినిపో ఏమొద్దు పో అరే తినరాదా మా గొంతు బాగాలేదు అది మంచిది కాదు పులుపు yes sorry guys. To create a phone number allows users to enter any phone number, automatically formats it as a phone number. Okay, I'm just creating phone here, trying to select phone data type and clicking on next. And field label, I would like to give it as mobile number. Description, I would like to give this description as this field allows user to enter student mobile number. Okay. Can give description. Why I'm always giving descriptions, because to understand yourself very clearly. That's why I'm just giving the description. And now clicking on next. Okay, and visibility on for all the profiles. I think we did not select required. This the mobile number is also required field. I want to take, so required. I'm taking mobile number. Clicking on next.
অন্ধকার সময় নিয়ে এসছো? এখানে তো
Next. Save it. Save and new. One more field we need to create, right? So save and new. We have created student name, roll number, and also branch, mobile number. We need to create email ID now. So to create an email ID, to select, you need to pick up the data type as email, and here is our email data type. This allows, let us see description also, allows users to enter an email address which is validated to ensure proper format. This field, if this field is specified for a contact or lead, user can choose the address when clicking send an email. Okay, so that means this email data type specifically used to enter the email address. Clicking on next. Okay, field label email ID student. So description, this field will allow user to store student email address, right? And then I'm not taking it as a required now. Email ID is not always required for student in my details, so I'm not taking it as required. Clicking on next, I'll show you what will be the difference between required and when I'm not taking required. So visible, yes, visible to all the profiles and read only for all the profiles. Clicking on next and clicking on save. Okay, now we have created all our fields which we need in our student object: student name, roll number, branch, email ID, and mobile number. Okay, so let us check. So I got a question like why we are always using a sales application from app, because that application will be very familiar. Like in this these are all the applications, you can also check in them, but why I particularly go to this sales application is because here that will be more convenient for me, so that's why I'm doing. If you want to check in any other applications also, you can also go to that applications and you can check it from there also. Student, clicking on new, can see student name, roll number, branch, mobile number, and email ID has been reflected over here. These are the fields which I need in my student object. Okay, and here there is no star mark because we did not take while creating a field, email field, we did not take email field as a required one, right? So that's why it's not showing any star mark, and rest for all the fields it is showing star mark as it is a required one. Now I will try to create fields. Tilak, roll number, I'll give thing like A0 R5, branch CSC, mobile number something. Okay, email address tilak@gmail.com, and clicking on save. Can see our record is saved. Tilak record has been saved, and all the fields are these are the details of particular student. Now what I do is I'll try to create a new student name as Deepak, roll number 16000R6, branch EC, mobile number something. Now I'm not giving any email ID. I'm not giving any email ID. I'm taking email ID as blank and clicking on save. Then it will be saved. You can see because we did not. It is not a required field. That's why it is getting saved. But when I try to create a new record without a mobile number or branch, what happens? Let us see. Uh, Yuvaraj, roll number 16K0S something, and branch IT. Now this star marks represent the required one, but now what I'm doing, I'm not giving mobile number and email ID trying to save. Then you can see it hits an error. That means this is a required field. So this is the required which we are taking in our while creating our fields. Required box we are checking, right. So that is the use. Mobile number, yes, I'm trying to give this. Click on save. It is created. Now our records has been created with the fields which we have given. Now my requirement is that my requirement is like whenever I try to choose CSC branch, I should get only CSC roll numbers in my roll number. Okay, when I try to choose ECE, I should get only ECE roll numbers in my roll number field. Okay, so that is what my requirement. Let us check. Here, my requirement is that roll number branch. So let me take them. Okay. Now what happens is when I try to choose CSC branch and ECE branch or IT, civil, mechanical, I should get only rule numbers based on branch. When I choose CSC, I should get rule numbers like 16K, 1C1, something like this. And let us take 5 rule numbers. I'll show you the requirement. Five, sorry, two. Okay, and this 5 rule numbers should come when I choose CSC, and when I choose ACE, the other 5 rule numbers should come. So I'll take it as E, right? And then let me also take for IT P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, right? I'm just typing them because I don't have data, right? So this is just a scenario and example. That's why I'm just typing them. If you want these rule numbers or something, you can copy it from anywhere, or if we have this data in Excel sheet, we can also copy it from there. As this is a scenario, for clear explanation, I'm just typing them. Okay. And here we need civil, right? So I'll take V, V5. Okay. And then next we have mechanical. So let me change to M. Five. Okay. So when I choose CSC, this 5 roll number should come. When I choose ECE, this 5 roll number should come. And when I choose IT, this 5 roll number should come in roll number. When I choose civil, this 5 roll numbers should come in roll number. And when I choose mechanical, this 5 roll number should come so that I can choose any one roll number for that particular student. Okay. So to achieve this kind of scenarios, we have a concept called field dependencies. Field dependencies. Okay, we have a concept called field dependencies in our Salesforce. By using field dependencies, we can do that. Like whenever we choose a particular branch, only that particular row number should come. Here, I would like to take one more example also. Okay, we are most familiar of like applying for colleges or applying for a companies or any other sites. What happens is whenever you choose a state, okay, whenever you choose a state, particular state, only the districts which are available in that particular state, that districts will be visible. Okay, so whenever you choose a Delhi, only whenever you choose let's take Mumbai, only that particular Mumbai related districts will be coming, right? How that is getting achieved is from, like, it will be a field dependencies. Okay, so similar way here is also like that. Whenever we are choosing particular field branch, particular value in branch, those particular value related value should only appear to us. Okay. Now what happens whenever I choose a branch, roll number should be listed. That means this branch will be a controlling field. Okay, and the serial number field will be a dependent field. Dependent field. Okay, so in field dependencies, this will be a controlling field, branch will be a controlling field, and roll number will be a dependent field. Hope you have understood. We have so here first we have created a object, and then we have created a tabs. We also created tabs in Salesforce, creation of tabs in Salesforce, and then we have created fields. Okay, we have created fields in student object, and now we are dealing with field dependency concept, right? So how to achieve these field dependencies and where we can find field dependencies, we'll just go to our platform and we'll check. if I create an object sales application that used in other app as well or not. Yes, if you create once if you create an object, that object you can use in multiple applications. Okay, so for achieving this kind, I'm just going back to my platform, and from here as I told, for all customizations and configurations, we need to go to our setup page. From setup page, we need to go to object manager, and from object manager, we need to for creating a field dependencies for branch and roll number. We have those fields in our student object, right? So we need to go to student object and fields and relationships. Here is our field dependencies. To achieve field dependencies, to create a field dependencies, both the only the pick list values will be only pick list values will be able to create a field dependency. So let us check that field dependencies. You can see this page allows you to define field dependency fields. Example, dependent pick list. No dependent pick list fields. And when I click on new, you can see controlling field as branch and dependent also we got branch, because when you observe here only one pick list value, that is branch, no other pick list value. These field dependencies will only support pick list values. Okay, now we are trying to give between branch and roll number, right? But roll number data type I have taken it as text. Now what we have to do is we need to change the data type of this roll number to pick list value, so that we'll be able to use in field dependencies. I'm just clicking on edit. Here we got change field type, right? Change field type. So it is asking me to choose the field data type. Now I would like to change it to pick list values. I'm clicking on next. Here it is showing me to give the enter values. These values why we got is because the records are already existing here, right? This record roll numbers are this, but now I don't want those record I mean those I don't want those values. I'm just removing them. Okay, we'll get what we have taken in our notepad. I just typed. So, okay, so these are the rule numbers you can see. This five for CSC, and these five for ECE, and we also got civil and mechanical also, IT also, right? So these are the pick list values that should appear in my roll number. I'm just clicking on next, and read only also on usability, yes, save. You can see we have changed roll number to pick list and also branch to pick list. Now we will be able to create the field dependencies in our uh, student object. Okay, so to achieve field dependencies, we need to go to field dependencies over here, just clicking on field dependencies and clicking on new. Here, create a dependent relationship that cause the values in pick list or multi-pick list to be dynamically filtered based on values selected by user in another field. So this point says that if you it can be a pick list or a multi pick list value, so that it is like a dependent field. If it is like a relationship of dependent field. If you choose in one field, it should get another field, it should be used in another field. So that's why we are creating this field dependencies. So the point here is that the field that drives filtering is called field dependent controlling fields. Standard and custom checkboxes and pick list with at least one and less than 300 values can be controlled fields. Okay, the fields that has its value filtered is called dependent fields. So this controlling field and dependent field, that is the point over here. So controlling field, as I told, we will be taking it as branch, and dependent field we will be taking it as roll number. Okay, so select a controlling field and dependent field. Click continue when finished. On the following page, edit the filter rules that controls the values that appears in dependent field for each value in controlling fields. Okay, controlling fields. I'm just selecting it. You can observe only the fields which are with the data type pick list that only visible here. So I'm just clicking on branch and dependent field. I'm taking it as roll number and clicking on continue. Now here we need to choose our values for our branches. Okay. So for CAC, as per our requirement, we need to choose this five, right? One, C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5. So just selecting all of them, clicking on include values. Okay, now we have selected all these five time in the shift and drag, as you all know. Some of if you don't know, I'm just telling that. Just selecting five for ECE, and when you click on include values, these five values will be included for this particular branch. And for IT, I should select these five, clicking on include values. See, five has been included, and V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. This 5 for civil and clicking on include values, and then for mechanical this 5 clicking on include values, right? All is, let us check is everything fine. For CSC, these 5 rule numbers. For ECE, these 5 rule numbers. And for IT, these 5 rule numbers are there. And for civil, these 5 rule numbers are there. For mechanical also we got 5 rule numbers. And now everything is correct. We have done for all our branches. Whenever I choose CSC as branch, these five values will be visible. When I choose ECE, these five values will be visible. When I choose IT, these five values will be visible. And when I choose civil, these five values will be visible. And for mechanical, these five values will be visible. If you want to exclude any of if you have done like any by mistake you have taken this CV1 also. If you want to exclude, you can just click on that particular cell and click on exclude values. That will be excluded. Okay, just include, and if you want, you can just click on include. Exclude, it will be excluded, and now everything is fine in field dependencies. I'm clicking on save. You can see now our field dependencies has been created. Controlling field is branch and dependent field is roll number. Okay, so let us check how it's gonna work. Just going to be open from here, app launcher, sales application. Okay, and here in student, clicking on new. See, it's not reflected yet. Load issues. You can see here branch. If you select this particular CSC branch, only those CSC roll numbers are visible over here. Okay, so branch is a controlling field and roll number is dependent field. Whenever you try to select a branch, then only this roll number will be enabled, right? So now for here, what should happen? Branch should be at the top and roll number should be at the bottom, right? Bottom of this field. Because if you are choosing that particular branch, then only roll number is getting enabled. So this is not the correct way. That roll number should be at the bottom and branch should be at the top. Okay, so where we can rearrange these fields is that we have uh, concept called page layouts. We can go to page layouts and then we can change our fields. We can rearrange our fields. Okay, so that is the one use of a page layouts. We'll see how to do that. I'm just again going back to setup page, and from setup page, object manager, fields and quick find box. I would like to search for student object again, because in student object only we gonna rearrange them, and clicking on page layout. Okay, so here is a page layout, and this page layout, there will be many page layouts, but this is one for every object, one default page layout we created. So that is this. I'm clicking on student layout, and when you scroll down, you can see here fields are there. You can just rearrange them as per our requirement. So branch should be at the top and roll number should be in the bottom, right? Because when I choose a branch, roll number should be enabled. So this is how I have just changed branch above the roll number. Okay, and clicking on save. Now our layout is saved. Again, I'm just going back and clicking on reload. See, is it getting reflected? Clicking on student, new, it's not reloaded. Let's check again. It's taking time to refresh. Again, try. Let's check once again to set up page, and check manager, student, sorry, page layouts. Yes, it is changed. I click on click save, reload, student, clicking on new. It's taking time to refresh. Let's check once again, one more time. You can see branch is at the top of roll number. We have changed this, rearrange this in our page layouts, right? So let us give one name, John, branch ECE. So let us also check, is it correctly working not? When I select CSC, all CSC are visible, yes. When I select ECE, all yeah, ECE roll numbers are visible. And when I select IT, all IT roll numbers are visible, correct. And civil, you can see all civil are visible. Mech, all mech are visible, right? So it's working. Our field dependencies which we have created is working. John and his branch is IT and roll number. T2 mobile number, let's give something, and email ID, john at the rate gmail.com, beyond save. Right now, our record is saved with the details of a John student. Okay, so this is how field dependencies, fields, and you know objects we can create. Now we'll create one application. Okay, now we'll create one application in Salesforce. How to create a application in Salesforce? Now we are always using the sales application to check our objects, right? To check our objects, is it placed or not? Is this email, fields working or not? We are going to sales and checking there. But now I want to create a application for my use and all, and use this student object and also faculty object into my application, right? So to create a application app creation, we can tell it as app creation in Salesforce platform. How to create this app will app we'll see now. So then we need to go back to our application. From here in setup page, from setup page we need to go to quick find box, app, need to search for app manager. Okay, just searching for app manager, and here you can see new lightning app. Okay, so this is the option where we can create our new application. I'm just clicking on new lightning app, and here you can see it is asking app name, right? App name. So we have taken student and also faculty object. Now for application, I would like to give it as cohort 4 application. I'm trying to create application name as cohort 4. This name appears in navigation bar, so so your users can see the name of application they are currently using. That means this name, when we are using sales, so it is showing sales, right? So in similar way, it is saying that this application will show this name, app name, developer name. So this developer name is similar like a API name. It won't allow us to create a duplicate application with same name. Okay, so that is what it is. And description, this app is used for organization. I'm just giving this as a description. You want, you can give whatever you want, and you can also add image for that. So here we got some information. App images represents your app in lightning experience and mobiles. The app image which you give here, that will be appearing in our application. Like here it's like, it will show application, and in our phone also it will be showing. You can also select this particular color that should appear to your application. Let me take it as a maroon or red. Okay, color like this and on that. Okay, so it will be looking like this. Cohort 4 CO, it will show like CO. Clicking on next now, and here it is saying navigation and form factor, navigation and form factor. So we got navigation style, standard navigation and console navigation. We'll always it is better to go with the standard navigation, because standard navigations looks like this. But when you see console navigation means in service console, the navigation looks like this. When you go with console, so while creating an application only, you should choose this standard navigation I have shown, which we are using right now. But how console navigations look like is this. It looks like this. From here, will just get dropped down, and we need to choose it from here. Here it is not placed. It will be like this console navigation. Okay, so always standard navigation is my preference. So going with standard navigation. Support factor for what this application for what factors it should be supported. That is what it is asking here. So I'm choosing desktop and mobiles. This application should be support for all desktop and also for mobile phones. I'm taking it. If you want this application to use only in mobile desktops or computers, you can go with desktop. Or if you want to use this application only in mobiles, then you can go with phone. Okay, so that is it is setup experience. Yes, setup full setup options is given. I'm clicking on next, and here it is asking add utility items. Add utility items is nothing but like in home, when you see these are like these are like utility items. Okay, so if you want to add any quick responses to your screen on your app, so that you can choose utility items. But for now I'm not choosing any utility items. I'm clicking on next, and here are available items. Here are available items. Why we are creating this application is because it is like separate application for my organization. As we have created two objects, I want to place those two custom objects which we have created, student and faculty, to my application. Okay, so let me create it. Sorry, let me add them. Student object is student object which we have created. I'm trying to add to my application, and then student is added. Now I would like to add faculties, navigate. So these are two. I have selected these two items. These are the two fields, I mean, two objects which I have created, and I have add. If you want to add accounts, you can also add standard object also. No issues. You can also add standard objects if you want, or else, yeah, you can also move these items which you have selected. Like here is an arrow. You can just move them top and bottom. Now clicking on next, and here we got available profiles. Many of you will be making mistake here only, like in modules also. Yesterday I have shown you in Railhead modules, right? So while performing these modules also, you will be getting a task or challenge to create an application, but you'll not choose this profile, so that it will not be visible for you in your app launcher. Okay, choosing profiles is very very important. If you don't choose profile, this application which you have created will not be visible to anyone. Okay, no profile is selected for now. So I will try to choose system administrator for now, because system administrator, I am the system administrator because I have created this Salesforce platform, right? So the person who is having full access and who have created the Salesforce platform, that person is known as a system administrator. So I'm just taking system administrator because we did not create any profiles or assign those profile to any users. That concept is yet to come in, like in coming classes. So for now I'm just giving selecting profile as system administrator only, and clicking moving to selected profile. So system administrator is selected, and clicking on save and finish. Okay, so we have created our application. Now, way to check is our application created and our objects which we have added, navigation items, is they are added or not? We need to check, right? So here is our app launcher. Going to app launcher and trying to check for our application. Cohort 4 is created. Okay, just clicking on this application. So here is our objects which we have added to our application. Accounts we have added, students and faculties. These are two custom objects which we have created, and one standard objects I have added. If you want, you can add, or else you can. If you want to add more navigation items, you can go to this pencil icon over here, and from there you can click on add more items. Click on all, and from here you can just add them. If you want to add them, you can add them, right? And you can also move. Okay, And if you try to create any details, you can directly create it from here. Now we have separately created our application, so and also added our objects to our particular uh, application. Okay, if you want to change anything in our application, again you can go to our setup page and typing experience, I mean app manager. From quick find box you can go for app manager. Here we have created cohort 4, right? So here is our application. Just try to click on this drop down. If you want to delete, you can delete this application. If you want to edit, you just need to go to edit. And what is clone option is here is that the same, if you want to create same application for any other use, then you can just clone this, and the same application will be copied as it is, and you can also rename that application. Now I'm just clicking on edit. After clicking on edit, again our here from here we can just edit. If you want to edit the app name, you can edit it from here. If you want to upload the picture, you can also upload it here. You can also change the color from here. And app options, if you once our navigation style you can see is selected, again we will not be able to change. Okay, you can change these factors, support factors, desktop and phone. If you want, you can just change them. And utility items, you can also add them. Also navigation items, you can also add it from here. I showed from here you can go for this pencil icon, and you can add like from add more items. And like this you can also add like this, or else you can come back to your application and go for edit, and from navigation items you can also add it from over here. Okay, if you forget to add user profiles, again you need to go you need to come like this. That means you need to go to setup page. From setup app manager, and from app manager you need to come to your app which you have created and go to user profiles, and from here you can just choose the profile and click on save, so that this will be saved. Okay, so this is how you can edit the application which you have created. Okay, so that's it for today guys, and let us also check some data types for our fields. In faculty object we have only one field, so let us create some fields in faculty object also. Here we'll try to use different data types. Okay, so that is the reason. And we need to go to object manager, quick find box, faculty, and from faculty, fields and relationships. Now I would like to create faculty name is there. Now let us create new auto number. Now I'll be using auto number. Why this, how this auto number will be generated, we'll see. A system generated sequence number that uses a display format you defined. The number is automatically incremented for each new record. That means when you enter first record, that record name automatically it will take as first record, like a serial number, right? So I'll take this auto number for now and click on next. Next, field label, we give it as serial number. Okay, display format, if you want display format in the form of 001, then you can give 001 like that. If you want, you can give them, or else it will take from one only. Okay, starting number. It is saying starting number. Some will be starting from zero, some will be starting from one, similarly like that. So starting number I'll be giving it as one only for now. Okay, it should start from one. For first record, it should give number one. For second record, it should give two, similarly like that. And description. This field will generate auto number as serial number for faculty records. So this is the description and clicking on next. So visibility, yes, visibility to all the profiles and next. Save it. Now serial number is created, faculty name is created. Let us choose one more data type and create one more field. Now what we use is, let me take checkbox. How checkbox will be used. I'm just taking checkbox. Allows user to select it true, check, or false, unchecked. Okay. Now my requirement for faculty is available, not is or available or not. If it is ticked, then he is available. If it is unchecked, it is not available. So for that, I'm taking field label as faculty status. Okay, faculty status. Default value, it will be unchecked. If you want a default value as checked, then the field will be automatically checked, but it should be unchecked only. If I check, then only it should be checked. Okay, so description. This will show if the faculty is active or inactive state. Okay, and clicking on next. Visible for all, yes, read only, and clicking on next and save it. Now we have created three fields. Let us create one more field by using another data type. Now I would like to create a data type using uh, percentage for text date. Okay, date. So I would like to take date as data type. Allows user to enter a date or pick a date from a pop-up calendar. Okay, click on next. This field I'll take it as mm, assigning date. Assigning date. Okay. Description. This field will show date assigned of faculty to student. Okay. Now clicking on next. Visibility on, read only on, and next. Save. Now in faculty object also we have created three more fields. First, faculty name, faculty status, serial number, and also assigning date. Okay, so let us check in our application. Our application is cohort for faculties. Being on new. Then you can see faculty name, serial number we got here, but serial number you can observe we did not get any field over here because it is auto generated whenever we save our record. But the serial number should be at the top and faculty name should be in the down. For that again, we need to go to our setup page layout, right? Page layout for that particular object manager. Fields is faculty field, page layouts, page layouts, and here you can just rearrange them. Serial number, faculty name, faculty status, and assigning date. Everything is perfect. Clicking on quick save. Okay. Now let us open our application, faculties. Here clicking on new. It's taking time to reload. Let's reload it. It's taking time to reflect, so I just logged out and logging in again. You can see serial number is at the top and faculty name, faculty status, and assigning date. Okay, let us give faculty name, Tarun. Faculty status, yes, is active, and assigning date. Today is assigning date. Clicking on save. You can see serial number automatically we got one because the data type we have taken here is auto number. Okay, and remaining as it is. Now let us create one more record. Clicking on new. Ganesh, faculty status I'm giving inactive. He is inactive and assigning date is today. Save. And see it is inactive and assigned. You can just click here inline edit, and you can also edit the records which you have created again from there and click on save. Right. So these are the two records which we have created that is reflecting in our faculty object. Okay. So that's it, guys, for today's session. Let me just recap what we have done today very quickly. Now, in today's session, we have seen like what are objects in Salesforce and how many types of objects are there in Salesforce. There are two types of objects: standard objects and custom objects. And custom objects are represented by underscore C, right? And coming to how many ways we can create object is that in three ways we can create an object, that is from object manager, from schema and schema builder, and third one is from spreadsheet. Okay, and we also saw what are the effects when we don't create a tab. So always creating when we are creating an object, uh, creating a tab is very important so that we can use our object, place our object in our application. Okay, and we also saw how to create fields by using different data types. Okay, and also field dependencies, the requirement of field dependencies. So here the important point you need to remember is that when you want to create a field dependencies, both the fields should be either pick list or multi-pick list values, data types, right? So we have seen, we have given field dependencies for branch and roll number, branch as a controlling field and roll number as a dependent field. And we also saw how to create an app in Salesforce platform. We have created cohort for application, and we have placed our objects, custom objects, student and faculty, and also one standard object accounts in our application. Okay, hope our session today is very clear for you. I'm just turning on the chat for 2 minutes. If you have any technical questions, you can just ask.
Recording stopped.